Here's the Key West Lighthouse. Tree looks like a thumb, a hand with a thumb. Good.
We have a place to see birds.
It's good enough for Hemingway, it's good for me.
My name is Lauren. I'll be your tour guide through the house and garden today. Happy Thanksgiving and thanks for joining us here. We'll try to have a little fun out of all this. I'd like you to meet the builder of the house, Mr. Asa Tift. The gentleman came to Key West as a marine architect and the master shipwright. While living here, he had the foresight to organize our reef wrecking and salvaging industry, a little project that made him the wealthiest man in the South. He built his home in 1851, lived in it until his death in 1889. Ironically, our wealthy tycoon managed to die here alone and without a will, leaving his home in the unriest estate South Florida has ever had to clean up. The litigation over this home went on for decades. The place wound up being boarded up and set vacant until Ernest Hemingway bought it years later. Hemingway's first look at our Key West would be 1928. He was passing through on his way home from a trip overseas. He had ordered a shiny new Ford Roadster to be delivered to him here in Key West to continue his journey into Arkansas. Typical of our little town, his car was 7 weeks late. This gave him plenty of time to finish a novel he had already been working on, the handwritten Farewell to Arms. While completing that, he fell in love with our island lifestyle, a little situation that we today refer to as the Keys disease. About the only known cure for this ailment would be rum and return visits. Early 30s, come on in folks, we got one. Early 30s, athletic, debonair young writer. He is surrounded there by his accumulation, if I may, of ex-wives. To briefly run you through those, wife number one, Hadley Richards. They met and married in Chicago in 1921. He was working as a reporter for the newspaper there. They had a short stay in Canada where they had their son John, then on to Paris to launch his writing career. But about 5 years into that crazy Paris scene, Hadley made a little mistake. She had what she thought was a very good friend there, fashion writer for Paris Vogue magazine, Pauline Pfeiffer. She introduced Pauline to her Ernest, and that's about the last she saw of those two. Pauline hooked on to him, married him, and brought him back to America. They bought this old house. She's the culprit that did away with all the ceiling fans. While I'm on that sore subject, her favorite chandelier. Hand-blown Venetian glass imported from the island of Murano. I'm told that is a rare and priceless piece. Priceless to me, folks, would be to see Pauline reincarnated and working here as a summertime tourist. Pauline and Ernest lived in this home 9 years. During that time, they had those two sons, Patrick and Gregory. Gregory is the one holding the cat. That cat's name was Snowball. I have a lot to tell you about that busy little character when we get out in the fresh air. 5 years before Pauline and Ernest divorced, this island was visited by Martha Gellhorn, a writer from Collier magazine sent here to interview Ernest Hemingway. When Martha arrived on our island, she didn't bother to call for an appointment. She simply changed into her cutest little summer outfit, patiently waited down here at Sloppy Joe's bar. It all worked very nicely. He was in that very evening for happy hour. They caught each other's eye immediately. There was a lot of magnetism between those two. Their quote-unquote interviews went on for 5 years. 1940, Pauline caught on. There would be an immediate divorce. 2 weeks later, he married his Martha and moved away to Cuba. We understand Martha and Ernest were just ecstatically happy there in Cuba for about 2 months. Unfortunately, that stormy marriage raged on almost 5 years. It ended in a bitter divorce. Then in 1945, while he was in London working as a war correspondent, fate smiled on him. He found this writer from Time magazine, Mary Welch. They married in '46, the one he should have found the first 3 times around. Mary stayed by his side till she became his widow, his longest marriage, over 16 years.
Here we are, Thanksgiving Eve, and the new, more glamorous end of Key West.
Yeah. The cruise ship. We're getting ready to board our yacht.
So every night, this is what's going on every night. It's a little bit crazy, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Oh, man!
Oh, my God.
Is that a map or a calendar? What's a map?
Well, I'm guessing by your reaction you can order that one at home in your garages. All right, here we go. It's starting to get a little bit better now. I'm going to start to throw the torches even higher. Oh, nice.